Kelly Bryant, the Clemson quarterback who was their starter last year, led them to the college football playoff, where they got decimated by Alabama. He is transferring. He said that being demoted is a disgrace, and he is leaving the school. I have some mixed feelings about this. On one side of the coin, I understand where he's coming from, because Kelly Bryant was your starter last year, was pretty competent, wasn't crazy good, wasn't Jalen Hurts or Tua from Alabama. He wasn't that level. He wasn't a Mike Vick type player. He was dynamic. He's athletic. He can make plays with his arm. He can make plays with his legs. I think he's a good athlete. But to leave his team in this situation, I think is a little silly. Again, we could go back to the facts that he was their quarterback last year. He led them to the playoff. But a team like Clemson has so much talent on so many positions, offense and defense. It's almost hard not to win a lot of football games and be undefeated, especially in the ACC. The ACC is not a strong conference at all. You've got Miami, you've got Clemson, and that's about it. NC State, maybe. Florida State's, man, I talked about them last week too. Florida State's in a real bad spot right now. So it's hard not to win a lot of games in the ACC with Clemson's level of talent. Clemson is consistently a top 4 playoff contender. Every single year. Since the inception of the playoff, they've been in it. They've been that team lurking around. So to be angry about that situation, understandable as a starting quarterback to lose your job. That's a little bit understandable. But also, it is Clemson we're talking about. This isn't a team that you need great quarterback play. Now, that's the cliche is every team needs to have a great quarterback. You need great quarterback play. I don't know if that's true because Alabama has won championships with a game manager at quarterback. LSU has won championships without quarterbacks. When's the last time you thought of an LSU quarterback other than maybe Jamarcus Russell? He's the only LSU quarterback that I can think of. So Kelly Bryant transferring, I don't want to come off saying that he's a whiny baby because I don't think he is. I don't. I just think he's got to understand the situation that he's in. I think he'll probably go to a good school. But what happened to football players where they've stopped caring about their team? And this is college we're talking about with Kelly Bryant. This isn't a holdout like Le'Veon Bell. This isn't trying to make money. This is he got replaced. Now, you could argue that it is about money because it hurts his draft stock. But I'm sorry, Kelly Bryant is not Deshaun Watson. He's just not. Deshaun Watson was a special player. But Kelly Bryant, nothing about his play last year stood out to me and said, he's the next Deshaun Watson. Or, man, Clemson is such a better team because Kelly Bryant. No, it was because of their defense. It's because of their skill players. Clemson has a lot of athletes on their team. It wasn't just Kelly Bryant. And it's not going to be just Kelly Bryant wherever he goes. I'm not discrediting his ability. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a good athlete. I can't stress that enough in this segment that I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. Or that some team should go after him and use him because he is a good quarterback. He's not bad. But I think it wasn't a good move on his part to leave a team like Clemson. Because if you're a backup at Clemson, you're a backup at Alabama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Washington, Georgia. These type of teams, if you're a backup just there, you are still in a great situation because anything happens to that starting quarterback, you have a very talented team that you could take to a championship. Kelly Bryant is a situational quarterback. He got put with a really good team, and he had enough talent into the playoff, into winning an ACC championship. And the one game they lost, people could argue, is because he was injured. But I don't think Kelly Bryant transferring is a good decision. Simply because you don't know, A, where you're going to end up. B, you don't know the quarterback situation next week at Clemson. He could have got put back in. Because clearly Dabo wasn't making up his mind. If we're almost to October, which is the meat of conference play, and he still hasn't made a decision on quarterbacks, there's still a good situation for you. I hope he ends up at a good school. I hope he ends up on his feet. I do think he's a good quarterback. And I think he will continue to be successful. I just don't know about that decision.